Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos always go is I start with some Q&A, just to answer you guys' questions and give you guys some immediate value. Then I cover some growth stats so you guys could see just how quickly a channel about my size grows, what's reasonable to expect and whatnot. Then I round it out with some live strategy. This is my main channel here, 120K subs. This one is the daily updates channel, and I just go top to bottom, answer the questions, starting from the oldest to the newest. So the oldest is from Kev. He says, "Hey Nick, love the video you give. Value you give, rather, really solid. I'm currently building an agency focused on generating qualified leads for PE firms." He means private equity. "Using meta ads or cold email campaigns. Plus, I have voice agents to pre-qualify and book meetings. If you're in my shoes, how do you approach lead gen, structuring the offer, etc.? Curious to hear your take on it. Thanks." I answered this question, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and I basically said, "Hey man, you're being silly. You should not be generating leads for PE firms using these extraordinarily low value approaches like AI voice agents to pre-qualify and book meetings." So I said, you shouldn't do that. That's probably the biggest issue here. If you're going to be dealing with something with that big of an average order value or lifetime value, you should definitely be having a human being deal with it. And he followed up saying, "Really appreciate your honesty. The voice agent angle probably isn't the best for how they operate, but I'd love to get your take on something else. Do you see potential in using meta ads to generate inbound deal flow from business owners looking to sell? If not, I'm also considering a more outbound focused offer with AI personalized cold emails." So listen, I definitely see value in outbound AI personalized cold emails. And that's something that I can speak on confidently because I've been doing that for quite a while. It is so easy to write a campaign that says, "Hey, love what you're doing with blank, wanted to run something by you. I buy businesses around the 500K to maybe 2 mil a year mark," or whatever the heck your PE firm specializes in. "I kind of want to buy yours. Here's some brief rationale. If you're interested, I can give you, all cash offer. I can give you a 30%, offer with 30% deposit," whatever the heck the specs are of the deal sheet. You give it to them. And then you only qualify when somebody actually positively responds to you, which is amazing because now you're filtering at the end. What this means is you can literally send this to any business owner on planet Earth, essentially, with the offer, "Hey, I want to buy your business, favorable cash terms. I'll make the offer within 24 hours. Just get back to me," or something. I mean, obviously you can't really make an offer within 24 hours without some sort of DD or some assumptions, but you get what I mean, right? So when they get back to you and they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, for sure," then you can be like, "All right, well, screw that guy. That guy was running a shit business. That person looks pretty interesting." And you're going to get crazy, crazy reply rates on the front end, which are going to help you. So I know for sure outbound would work. I'm not entirely sure about meta ads, but that would be how I would approach this. All right, Kev, let me know how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. Next, I have Q&A. Says there's a channel with a video, just taking a peek. So here's what you can do, man. If you want some quick money, take all of the skills that you are applying to clip my content and, you're clipping it pretty well. Like, this is a pretty old video of mine. There's value in you doing stuff like this for me. And then head over to my WAP creator reward. For those of you that don't know, WAP is just a way that you can get paid clipping my content. You'll make $1.50 per 1,000 views. You can see I've already paid out $252 US here in just the last couple of days to a bunch of people that have clipped my content. And then all you really do with this is you make content like this. This guy posted this video, and then you know what he made? He made $69 for that. Total 103 paid out. Sorry, not 69, 103, because we multiply that by 1.5. Is this going to convert like crazy? Probably not. I don't really think this video is all that good, all things considered, but my editors are helping him and other people. This is Tony. Tony's doing a really good job here. He's clipping the content with these nice minimalistic captions. He throws in some good B-roll. You can do that and you can make money. This is open. You can do this anytime you want. If you generate over 50K views for me, then I actually pay you $2.50 per 1,000 views. And then I also give you the ability to do affiliate, which can make a lot of money, okay? So that'd be my recommendation for you. You have skills, you have ambition, obviously. Go through some clipping thing. It's the simplest and easiest way to make money with me. Patrick says, "Can you show again the sign-up system what you used before for the school community? I mean, kind of the waiting list where they already authorize the payment and getting automatically enrolled sometime after. I can't use Stripe, want to do something similar, but another payment gateway and enroll people automatically. How do you solve a problem like that?" Interesting. Yeah, for sure. For those of you that don't know, this is my Make Money with Make community. This was the first community that I put together, and I hit the wait list on this very, very soon after I made it. So I started telling people that in order to get in, you had to pay annual instead of monthly. And then I had a monthly wait list and then an annual wait list, but I let the monthly members in at a clip of 1 to 10 of the annual, just for volume reasons, obviously. If somebody's willing to justify making an annual payment, obviously they're a lot more motivated. They're probably going to contribute a lot more to the community, and then I get to make more money. It's like a win-win-win on all counts. So I prioritized annual members. The thing is, when this came out, school did not actually have an annual option. So instead of you being able just to sign up through clicking a button, I actually had to route you through this system right over here, makemoneywithmake.com, which is a landing page that I set up to manage all this stuff. Now, if you scroll down to the join waitlist section for $2,938 a year. You can click this button. Didn't used to be that. Then you put in your information here, email address, your revenue range, because that's important to me. If you're 0 to 5K, you're less likely to get it, and then your card number. Then you click join waitlist. Well, you know what actually happens on the back end? I'm actually processing all of this stuff using a Stripe system, okay? So the way it works is, and I can't really show you too much about this because I have like some plain text, information that I'm storing here. It's not exactly the most secure. But basically, every time somebody signs up with that, which I'm managing using this service called checkoutpage.com, which is just a quick and easy way for you to make a checkout page. It looks just like what I have, okay? So I'm using like a service called Checkout to build that checkout page. You can get a webhook. What I do is I get a webhook inbound here. I transform it to JSON, and then Checkout automatically creates a Stripe customer. So in Make, I'm just getting that customer. Then I'm getting their what's called setup intent status, which is just a term in Stripe that I'm not going to go over now for simplicity reasons. But if you get the setup intent status, that allows me to see, is this person actually capable of making that transaction? If they are, I actually add them to a Google Sheet where I store all of the data. So I actually store a giant list of people that have tried to sign up to the service. And then I segment that based off whether or not you can actually make the transaction, aka can actually make the payment, or if you can't. So if you can, then what do? I add you to a queue system where I actually add you to a database. And then later, I take that database and then I run on a daily basis using a scraper. If the member size in the group is less than 499, well, now it's 499, it used to be 399, I actually go through and then I grab an entry from that database, create an invoice item, create an invoice, and then actually bill them. So this occurs completely automatically, and then they receive an invite to make money with Make, and then also an invite to Maker School. I'm not clicking into the modules just because this is like my private backend infrastructure. I would love to be able to give this away as part of everything else, but like I have like the private API endpoint for School that allows anybody to sign up for free. I have, a bunch of Stripe rigmarole back here, and obviously here, I have all of the customer payment data. So just being a little bit, more privacy conscious, I guess, after I got my ass hacked. But that's how I do the system, okay? Hey, what would be your approach to Upwork apps for jobs that you don't feel confident in because of a lack of experience? I do the exact same thing, literally the exact same thing, whether I have a ton of experience in this job, or whether I don't. The only difference, I would say, is just a little bit more depth in the experiences where I do have experience, in the Upwork jobs where I do have experience. That's it. Just a tiny bit more depth. But for all intents and purposes, for the most part, it's the exact same thing. I record my video. I say something unique about the job. I mention how I was so enraptured by this amazing opportunity that I couldn't help but apply, essentially. And then I position myself as the perfect person to solve it because I typically have some relevant experience that I can weave in somehow to this specific thing. And then I say, I've actually went ahead and I've built you a system that does something similar. Or, I was actually just building a very related system for somebody 2 weeks ago. I want to show you it and let me know and you can let me know if you like it. This builds a little bit more social proof, so I like that. Then I just run them through a blueprint. A lot of the time, the blueprint, as somebody that doesn't do this, can actually just get directly from my Gumroad. Just type leftclicker.gumroad.com. And then, and then I just, pitch them through the system. I try and get them to do the template because if I get them to do the template, well, guess what? Then I just get to charge them, $2,000 to basically just copy and paste a template. My goal is to get people that say, hey, Nick, I want that. I want exactly that. Anyway, Madison says, Nick gained so much of our trust, we even go to him for losing belly fat. Seriously, I don't brand telling. Thank you. That's funny. And I'll do one more from Alejandro. Thanks for the great content, Nick. How would you approach trying to build an AI-based SaaS as a productized service? My guess is that it's a bit different than finding a niche for custom AI automation services, but probably related to it as a way to transition from it. And also, how would you validate demand? Would you just build it in N8N as a backend and Lovable or Airtable interface as the front end? Or would you do some more professional custom coded thing? Curious what your take is on all this. This is killer. I'm realizing that I have a pen now. I don't know where I put the pen though. Unfortunate. Okay, so this is killer. This is exactly what I would do. Word for word. Lovable. I wouldn't do Airtable. I do a Bolt Lovable interface, and then I have N8N as my backend. N8N would just catch things from the front end into my little backend through webhook, and then I'd start my flow in N8N. Then I'd have some respond to webhook node. These are supposedly webhook nodes. And this would go back to the interface and update something. That's it. That's the whole magic behind it. You could do most of this in natural language, to be honest, except for the N8N stuff, but that's just drag and drop. So that's how I do the product side of things. How do you actually build an AI-based SaaS as a productized service, finding a niche for custom automation services, and how would I validate demand? Well, it's the same thing as anything, right? I would validate demand for the service by packaging my SaaS now, my simple SaaS thing that I'm building in N8N and then Lovable as front end. I would create 10 different ways to pitch it. I'd create 10 different audiences. And then I'd just take every way to pitch it. And then I'd pitch that to every audience. So if I have 10 audiences and I have 10 different ways to pitch it, that's 10 times 10, that's 100 different ways. If I'm sending 1,000 emails a day, realistically, I get to test 10 of those per way per day. So I do that for, I don't know, like a month. At the end of the month, I have 300 emails that I've sent to each of these groups. Then I can actually just look across the data and see, which ones are obvious no's, which ones are yeses. I keep the winners. I keep that going. I make some minor iterations. 300 emails isn't very much data at all, so be very careful with this. And then, you can only do this if there's a massive effect size. And then I do that for another month or two, and then I just repeat the process over and over and over again. By the end of like a month or two, I will actually have crystallized one of the highest ROI ways to pitch my service. And then, if I do want to run inbound ads, like Kev was talking about for his PE firm, because, you can run inbound ads or meta ads or Google ads for a SaaS in a pretty straightforward manner. That's like a very validated inbound method. Well, now I have the exact wording to use. I have everything. And I did it for a very low marginal cost, which is cool. That's why emails can be amazing. All right. Anyway, I got a short day today, so let's just cover some brand stats. To make a long story short, my flight got back much later than I was anticipating because of a bunch of delays. So just wanted to make sure I could actually get this video out while the light was not absolute trash. I could have found a way to work around that as well, but to be honest, it just would have been so much more inconvenient because then I would have had to grab the lights from my car, and I'm moving today, so lot going on here in Nickville. Looks like my main channel grew by about 1,000, which is good, 0.8%, which is on mark. Instagram grew by 1,500. Let's just check out the daily updates really briefly. That's not it. Let's go to here. Is that guy's name really Point Dexter? That's cool, man. I wish my name was Point Dexter. And then I only went up by 23 on the daily update. So daily update volume is going down. Let me run you guys through some really cool things that have happened in just the last little bit. That podcast that I'm running with Jack Roberts, we have this great editor who's helping us do the editing. So I got him up to speed on using Ophonic, which is going to help eliminate some of the audio issues that we currently have. And it's going to be very Spotifyable and Apple Musicable. So we're going to widen the net, cast a wider net, and then just like upload it to Spotify, upload it to Apple Music, upload it to obviously YouTube and just all the platforms. Then I'm going to get this guy to actually help me with the podcast that I'm doing with Matt Larsen as well. And it's going to be the exact same thing. So if you guys haven't already gone Accelerate 2030, this one right over here, this is that podcast. Check out some of these shorts. These are extraordinarily high quality. Look at this one here. Look at the editing. Insane, right? I mean, like it's good editing, I guess is what I'm going to say. Insane, whatever. I guess it's all relative, but there's some high quality effects here. This stuff could definitely go viral. It is sufficiently good that it could go viral. Well, I'm going to have that not just for that channel, but I'm also going to have it for this channel, the 5-pod. I think that's it. Yeah. And I've already experimented with some here. We got a couple. Now, this is from a different editor, but I just wanted like an example of what we could do here. And I also wanted to validate shorts. But yeah, the shorts method is good. So once per week, we're going to get at least 5 shorts per week on each. So technically, I'm going to be posting 6 to 7 times per channel. And these are 2 validated channels with very, very long watch times that also build a ton of authority and credibility and stuff like that. Granted, this one's just Matt. There's no Nick here at all. There's some Nick. And yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just really excited about that. That's going to be pretty awesome. So I did set that up. And then I also wrapped up the conference that I was at, which is nice. So I'm setting up my studio tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. And I'll finally have just like a stable place for me to record videos. After I've set it up, which will probably take another day, I'm finally back to videos, baby. I cannot wait. I know I've only been gone for like 12 days realistically of like me actually recording daily videos on the main channel. But ooh, does that just add such a kick in my step? And then I can also catch up on a bunch of the other stuff that I want to do. Like I want to wrap up that $25K per month agency program. I want to refilm the first month of Maker School and so on and so forth. So a lot of stuff here. Thank you very much for bearing with me. I know it's a little bit late today. Looking forward to tomorrow. Cheers, guys.